what did we say last day? We started looking at freefall. We said that an object was in freefall if the only force acting on it was something that starts with letter G and rhymes with gravity. Something that starts with letter G and rhymes with gravity. That's your punchline? Okay. So if the only force acting on it is gravity, the object is in free fall. Oh, and we're ignoring air resistance because technically that would be another force. It would be slowing it down. We don't have the physics to deal with that. If you were in free fall, what was your acceleration exactly as a number? No, it's not 9.8. Okay, now we had to be fussier because we're going to define up to be positive and down to be negative because we are going to have objects moving simultaneously in both directions. So we need to be a bit more meticulous here, okay? We did two questions. We did one question, dropping an object from a cliff. If we're dropping an object, what could we assume VI was? 0. And then we had one more question where we were launching an object from the ground. And I think it was Tony who pointed out, Mr. Dewick, we should take into account our arm height, which was a really good point. And so we decided, let's pretend if we're launching from the ground, it's like a cannon that's dug into the ground, sticking like a 0.5 millimeter out of the ground. We're launching from the ground. But yes, it's a totally valid point. Okay? We got to, I think, example 4. Pause here. A ball is thrown straight up from a cliff at 12.5 meters per second. By the way, what if I had said straight down from a cliff? What would I need to change? Yeah, that's all. So we can handle an awful lot now. I've spent so much time giving you all these skills so that throw me a mini curveball, not a big issue. Hits the ground at the base of the cliff after 8.85 seconds. I'm going to dulp. I'm going to dulp over here on the right. I'm going to draw the cliff. Dulp is draw a little picture. It's an acronym that I use. Colton, make sure you can find it. If not, let me know and I'll get you a copy. But you should be, Matt, you got it? Okay. And it looks like what we're doing is this. We're throwing the object straight into the air, and it's going to come down, rocket past us, and splat into the ground right there. Is that okay? It looks like what this question wants us to find is that. Where are we starting? What location in my dulp is initial? The top of the... Okay, you know what? I'm going to do a little I, and I think final is there. I'm not going to call it VI and V. I'm just going to say, look, if it mentions at the start, that's where I'm going to imagine we are. If it mentions at the end, that's where I'm going to imagine we are. All right. Oliver, what's this question asking me to find? Got to be fussy. We're going to get a displacement. But first of all, I love that you translated the word high into a physics term. And I'm pretty sure, well, look, are we ending up above or below from where we started? Are we going to get a positive or a negative displacement? So if I get a positive on my calculator, I'll freak out thinking I've made a typo. Okay, good. One of the things I'm trying to do now as well is to give you an idea, Matt, roughly what your answer should look like so you can spot typos on your calculator. One of the things that always makes my soul sing is when a kid says to me, Mr. Dewick, I did this on my calculator. This doesn't look right because of, good, I've taught you not just to mindlessly trust these things, but to think critically. That's one of the things I want to build into you. What else do I know? What's that 12.5, Oliver? What are the units next to that 12.5? So? You're right. Yeah, because that's where we said we're starting at. Okay, so it's going to be VI. I agree. What's that 8.85? That's two things. I need three things to find the fourth. Yeah? VF does not equal 0. Aaron, I'm going to have you stand on your lab table and do a big belly flop onto the floor. If VF was 0, it wouldn't hurt. Will it hurt? Yeah. Then please don't be telling me that VF is 0. It's a common misconception. By the way, after you hit the ground, after it's no longer a projectile, then VF will be 0, but not when it hits the ground. Oliver, what's the acceleration exactly as a number? Yes. Mr. Dewick, how can it be negative 9.8 on the way up? On the way up, is it speeding up or slowing down? Which way is it accelerating? If it's moving up but slowing down, it's accelerating downwards. Okay? It's negative acceleration. Which equation, Oliver? Yep. And as a bonus, the D's already by itself. So it's going to be straight plug and chug. VIT plus a half AT squared. You'll notice I'm kind of casual with the vector notation in the equation. Where was I paranoid? When I was listing my data. If I get that right, all else will follow. And that's why I'm going to be really meticulous on that first step so that it takes care of a lot of silly mistakes later. So it's going to be D equals 12.5 times 8.85 plus 0.5 times negative 9.8 times 8.85. Don't forget the squared. And again, if you have a good calculator, and hopefully by now all of you do, you should be able to type that in one fell swoop. Oh, 8.85 seconds. That's, Colton, a fair bit of free fall time. I'm willing to bet this cliff is in the hundreds of meters high, but negative. I'd be worried if I got like negative 53, for example. Oliver, let me know what you get once you get there. I don't think so. So pause, look up. Did you put a squared on the 8.85? That's common mistake number 1. Did you? Got to be impressed that I narrowed it down not only to, but exactly what the mistake was. What'd you get, Aaron? Negative 237.2? No? I think it ends up being about negative 273. Is that right? Yeah? Yeah, we're going to 3 sig figs. So if you didn't get that, double check your typing. And if you're continually getting stuff wrong, on the next one, snag me. I'll come and look and see if you're doing a common mistake. By the way, did this question, Oliver, say, find the displacement? What did it want me to find? A word that starts with H? Probably the answer would have, if you were looking at the answer, it would say it's 273 meters high, not negative 273 meters high. I would take either or. Somebody asked me, first block, Mr. Dewick, if I wrote my answer as positive, would you give me full marks? Because it said the word high there, yes. But if it had said find the displacement and you wrote it positive, I would take a half mark off because the displacement is definitely negative. Is that all right? Cool. Ooh. Ella, what's B want me to find?
The maximum to the distance.
The maximum height of the ball. Didn't we just find a distance? Wait. You know what? Look at my DALP. This is not where we're talking about for our final location. Where are we talking about now? Where are we?
The highest point.
And that's why I did this, so I can scribble, and just, don't be fancy, scribble the old final out. Put a VF, put the final right, that's the final location. Okay. So I agree with you, it's asking us to find a distance, probably a displacement, by the way. So D equals question mark. Is VI still 12.5?
Yes.
Yep. What else do I know?
The acceleration.
What's the acceleration exactly as a number? Yep. What else do I know, Gerard? Oh, Aaron, here VF is 0 at the top. Yes. Which equation, Ella? And get the D by itself, please. Which one, kiddo?
Maybe the V squared equals VI squared.
Get the D by itself, please. Yes, it would be the VF squared equals VI squared plus 280.
So the VS squared minus VI squared divided by 2a.
I totally agree. And so you're going to get 0 squared minus 12.5 squared all over 2 times negative 9.8. Is this a fraction? Yes. Is there more than one thing on the top? Brackets around the top. Of course, I don't have to remind all of you to be following along on your calculator. And did you all get 7.97? For a candy, can anybody tell me why that's the wrong answer? Because it is wrong. Why must that be wrong? Nope. I'll pause because, pardon me? It is positive. It's above from where we started. Why must this be the wrong answer? Why can't this be the maximum height of the ball? Tony.
Because you have to add the height.
Tony. Nope. Mara.
Because you have to add the height of the cliff.
Ah. Let's go back to our DULP. Ella, you know what we found? That. Is that, do we measure heights from the tops of a cliff? Where do we measure all of our heights from? I'm looking for where that starts with letter G.
Okay.
Yeah. We want that. How can I figure that out?
The distance we got.
And the positive distance. Yeah, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to write 7.97. And now I'm going to say, you know what our abbrev for height is? It's a lowercase h. It's going to be 7.97 plus 273. That's how high the ball is off the ground. Jesse, is that okay? Okay. Well, again, look up, right? That's the 7.97. Is that how high the ball is off the ground? No. Where's the ground? Here. Right? You know how high the ball is off the ground? That. So all we found initially was how high it was above the cliff, but we don't measure heights from the tops of cliffs. We measure heights from ground level. Is that all right? So here's your warning. What'd you get, first of all? 281 and change? 81 or 82? 81? Okay. I would have no problem, Josh, giving you this question, but skipping part A, going straight to part B, and expecting you to clue in, do a nice try. I'm going to have to also find the height of the cliff and add that in. Okay? There would probably be a bit of a hint because this question might be worth 3 marks or 4 marks. That usually means you're going to have to find something in order to find something. C. What's the impact velocity of the ball when it hits the ground at the base of the cliff? What is the impact velocity not? It's not 0. Again, don't believe me? One of these times I will make a kid do a belly flop on. No, I won't, because that would do some serious damage. Okay? But, Aaron, what is C asking me to find? Sorry? Yeah. What is C asking me to find? Yes, good. Let's make a list of what else we can use. Can we still use VI as 12.5? I think so. By the way, now I would probably go back to my drawing. I would scribble out that final, and I would say, okay, there's my final there again, just so I can visualize what's going on. And you don't have to do a drawing. What I'm trying to do is give you some tools so that when you're stuck, try doing that, right? The big 2 that I tell my Physics 12s, when in doubt, DULP and DFIC. And in fact, if they ask me a question, did you DULP? No, not going to help you. Do that first, please. Did you defect? No? Okay. Not going to do that. List your data, please. At least do that. Okay. VI, I think, is still 12.5. Yes? A is still negative 9.8. Oh, T is 8.85 still, because that 8.85 seconds was when it hit the ground. Aaron, which equation? By the way, Aaron, can you see as long as some time has elapsed and there's gravity, V final can never be 0 because you're going to go something times something. There's no way you can get a 0 as an answer. Okay? The first one, VF equals VI plus AT. Yeah. I need to get the VF by, already is. That's a bonus. So it's going to be 12.5 plus negative 9.8 times 8.85. Aaron, when this ball hits the ground, what direction is it traveling? Be obvious. Am I expecting a positive V final or a negative V final? Here, I would get nervous if my calculator gave me a positive answer. I would, it must have been a typo somewhere. You should get a negative. But that's after, that's a completely different situation. But yeah, it would bounce and briefly be in free fall again, but that would be almost a completely separate question. Yep. Good question. Aaron, what'd you get? Okay. Negative 74.2, is that correct? Meters per second. Is that fast? Could you times that by 3.6? If this was a person, would they be a happy camper? What'd you get? Yeah, this would be terminal. Okay. Well, how high was the cliff? Gibson, I think. Gibson. You did. Who did the cliff originally? How high was the cliff? 200 and something. That's a high enough cliff that most of you, if you were standing on it, would feel queasy. If you were looking over the edge with no railing, you may have noticed beyond a certain height, often when we look over it, we almost start to get a bit of vertigo and kind of until you get used to it. That would be that kind of a height. And so, yeah, this would definitely not be one that you would want to casually fall off of. Technically, the tone is supposed to go in about 5 minutes, so your homework is to get caught up.